Um, I set up a time with her, and so she told me, "Hey, bring any questions." So I brought some that were related to you and not necessarily related to my account, right? These are some of the tips that she's going to give me as far as what the Instagram algorithm is doing, what they are looking for now in content to kind of rise to the top. You're listening to Real Estate Coffee Talk. I'm your host, Sarah Hilton, and this is your weekly live coffee date with the who's who from every corner of the real estate industry. Every week, we're spotlighting stories that inspire and tips that empower. So whether you're new to the game or a seasoned pro, there's something for everyone. Now grab your mug and let's get into it. Hey everyone, it's Sarah. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Coffee Talk. Oh my gosh. Sorry, once again, if you're watching on video, my virtual background is messing on my coffee cup, but necessary because I'm hiding in my 6-year-old son's bedroom. So unless you want to see like Mookie Betts posters and uh, Star Wars paraphernalia, you're gonna see this cute little coffee shop virtual background vibe I got going on here. Let's get into it. All right. So here's the quick background for this. First of all, welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing day, no matter what you're doing. We are barreling towards 2025, which is absolutely insane. But I wanted to kind of jump on here and pass along these tips. So I'm in the Instagram creators community. And because I wouldn't call myself an influencer, but because I guess I have the meta verified and probably a certain number of followers, I from time to time get these calls from Instagram themselves, and they're like growth strategists basically, and sometimes they've offered them on smaller accounts. I've gotten them on Facebook accounts, so it's not necessarily because you need a big account. It's just a little bit random. I think they want to see you active. But um, I set up a time with her, and so she told me, "Hey, bring any questions." So I brought some that were related to you and not necessarily related to my account, right? So we went through, and here these are some of the tips that she's going to give me as far as what the Instagram algorithm is doing, what they are looking for now in content to kind of rise to the top, and kind of what are the projections over the next 6 months, I would say 6 to 12 months. So keep in mind, I don't want you to get overwhelmed with this. Like, man, I'm putting all this effort out and Instagram keeps changing the algorithm. Here's the way I want you to think about it. Instagram wants to keep people on Instagram. That's it. That so any content you're going to create, try to put some of these rules and frustrations out of your head. Any content you're going to create, the goal of Instagram is to keep people on their platform, right? And so you're going to notice as we go throughout all these things are meant to keep people there. So as you're creating content, keep that in mind. You don't automatically want to send them away. You don't want to create content that makes them leave your account and be bored, which means that it shows Instagram that in general this person is bored with Instagram. Okay, so that is really the only real science behind it. Instagram likes to keep people on Instagram. Okay, so that's kind of the foundation. Let's go through some of the things that we talked about. Now, before I quickly start, if you want to go into my show notes, you can find a couple of things. The probably most relevant, the two most relevant for you here are going to be you can grab my AI Insta Agent Accelerator course. That's what's going to show you how to build and maximize and grow your account on Instagram using AI. ChatGPT basically, but there's no reason for you to reinvent the wheel. ChatGPT is going to help you. You'll be able to create a strategy. You'll be able to create your audience demographic. You're going to be able to create video hooks. You're going to be able to analyze search data. You're going to be able to do all these things using AI, and then using that to inform your Instagram content and strategy, right? So really great course, and there's a coupon code in the show notes. Also, I just released my ManyChat course. So that is also ManyChat is a verified partner with Instagram. So you don't have to worry about anything you use on ManyChat kind of messing up your Instagram content, right? It's a partner, and they keep people on Instagram for sure, because you're having people DM I'm sorry, you're having people comment on your stuff or DM, and then you're qualifying them in your Instagram Messenger. There's a lot you're doing, but most of it is based inside Instagram. So it's a really great tool. You can find that in the show notes. And then of course, I have my free B-roll ideas, and just follow me on Instagram. It's fine. I give you a bunch of free tips all the time. All right, so let's get into it. Number one is stories. Here's your advice for stories, right? Before you kind of start another batch, let's say you went through your day and you were doing kind of like day in the life. Here, I'm on my way to a showing. I'm getting coffee. Good morning. Okay, I'm putting out this sign. I'm taking my kids to football practice. I'm getting home cooking dinner. Let's say you did somewhat of a batch of stories, or even something like a virtual tour of a model home and do all that in your stories. Before you start like the next batch, this is for maximum engagement. Before you start the next batch, wait about 24 hours till your last story expires, then do another one, right? This just lends itself to more eyeballs on your stories every day or every other day, the way you do it, right? So it'll make sense if you're doing batches of stories that aren't necessarily connected, or you're doing them like a good morning post every day. You don't have to wait those full 24 hours. But if there's a batch of stories that you really want to make sure people see, her advice was to wait until the last story you posted is more than 24 hours old, because then it disappears and then it's kind of going to refresh. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is consistent posting is just as important as you think. If you are steady with your account, she said 3 to 4 reels per week and 1 to 2 feed posts a week is ideal. Okay, so it's really doable. I've been telling people to post 2 reels a day in growth mode. I still think 1 video a day is good, 1 reel a day is good. But even I have trouble keeping up with that sometimes. So as you are planning your winter strategy, 3 to 4 reels a week, 1 to 2 feed posts a week. So those could be carousels or regular posts. It's kind of ideal. Instagram awards, here's the way it works, the way she explained to me. Instagram awards engagement on your feed posts, right? And then pushes, and your feed posts are typically going to be your audience already, right? Just like stories are only shown to the people who you already follow. I'm sorry, who already follow you. So Instagram is awarding engagement on your feed post by pushing out your reels to new audiences if your content is engaging, right? So they kind of work in tandem, and vice versa. If your Instagram reels are performing really well, your feed posts will be pushed out to more of your audience, right? So you'll notice this. I will say TikTok probably has a little bit stronger of an algorithm, but you'll notice this even on Instagram. So if you engage with one of my old videos, you probably start seeing some of my newer videos or even older videos in kind of like rapid succession, right? Because they kind of push right away. As soon as they see that you've engaged with the creator, they're going to push out more of their info, more of their content to you. Okay. So those kind of things work in tandem. So make sure that your feed posts specifically are going to be engagement, not necessarily built for reach. They're built for engagement. So what's going to make them comment, what's going to make them like, share, etc. Okay, that's engagement. Really quickly, let me touch on this. If you go to your old post, if you've been um, consistent with old posts, what you can do is go to view insights. In there, you can kind of filter by which ones have been the most effective as far as engagement. And then you can create more things like that. Okay. So that's my little spiel right there. Um, Number three, she said, if you have a new or a smaller account, you likely want to post more content, right? So this is where I say, if you are in growth mode, post 2 reels a day is really going to be beneficial, right? So her suggestion was try doubling the previous suggestion of 3 to 5 reels a week and 1 to 2 feed posts a week, which still 3 to 5 reels a week. If you double that, that's 6 reels a week, 1 to 2 feed posts, 4, so it's still pretty doable, especially if you want to make Instagram a part of your marketing strategy in 2025, right? But she did say consistency is the real gold, right? So if you post 20 posts this week and then you don't come back for a month, that's not going to help you, right? It's choosing something and being consistent. I said it in another episode a couple weeks ago that I saw this realtor highlighted in some podcast. He's just posting listing tours basically on some posts. He only does the listing tours once a week, but he's been consistent. And over the first year, he didn't get much in the way of leads, but now he's getting like, I think they said 42 qualified leads a month, which means these are people who are actually doing something, right? So, um, just be consistent, set a schedule and go for it. The next thing she talked about was hashtags. She said you want to use these strategically. So don't be haphazard. Do you know the amount of people I see getting their hashtags from ChatGPT? I could always tell because ChatGPT will capitalize every word. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay. So just throw those out. She looked at my account and recommended ones that I keep and which ones didn't make sense. But for example, if you're just posting like I don't want to get into specifics because it's not really going to make it varies from account to account, right? But basically what she said is like no one's let me use an example she and I talked about. There was one that was called real estate mom, okay, or realtor mom. She said that's a waste because it's going to get pushed out to realtors because that's the keyword, but not necessarily realtor moms. Or I'm sorry, reverse. It's going to get pushed out to moms because that's the stronger keyword, not necessarily realtors. Okay? So if you're putting stuff out there and you're putting like your city Charlotte moms, it's going to get pushed out to moms everywhere, not necessarily Charlotte moms, right? So you just want to be careful. Look at who is coming in. I know you can't track them back to a certain keyword, but look at your people who's coming in. I have a hashtag called Latina Realtor. I know it's working because probably over half of my followers, the people engaging me, are Latinas and they're realtors, right? So I know that works. In that instance, realtor is a stronger keyword. Okay. So it's going to take a little testing or whatever, but first thing you should do is trash your ChatGPT hashtags. They're garbage. And then start using ones that are going to work. And you can test this out. You can be hyper specific. You can be general. There's a few different things you can do to test them out. Okay. Here's another one I thought was interesting. Connecting your Instagram post to your Threads account, which is Instagram owned. It's kind of like Twitter, for the same reason. Meta owns Instagram. Meta likes you being on Meta. Okay. So they're like, hey, if she's going to leave Instagram, we're going to send her to Threads. Right. So they want to make sure that all your things are connected. So go ahead and auto post everything you're doing to Threads. Okay. It's really easy. You don't have all it is kind of a button you have to toggle on. Same thing with auto posting it to Facebook. All right. So that's really what they want you to do. She also specifically talked about your reels. When you go into your settings, there is a area where you can say allow this to be shown on Facebook. So it's different than posting it to Facebook. What you're doing is sending this video to Facebook. Facebook's going to do with it what they want. I know on my timeline on Facebook, they've been promoting people's reels. The great thing about that is it's a completely different audience. So if someone clicks on it, they have the opportunity to follow you. And let me be clear, Facebook, the way it's been showing these reels is very, very compelling. They pull out like the most tempting part of your video and it just loops like 1 second at a time, right? So it's really smart because someone is almost like compelled to click on it because they want to see what's going to happen, right? So keep that in mind for your reels. And then, hey, it's not really going to cost you any more time or effort. Just allow it to be shown and you can reach a new group of people and also get some more followers. Okay. So, and again, they like it because it allows you to stay on these meta owned things. Okay. So no rocket science behind that. It is what it is. And then also she talked about collaboration. I've been saying this and it's confirmed now because the Instagram girl said it, right? Use the collaboration feature to do videos with partners, vendors, small businesses, complimentary creators, etc. Right? Here's one hack she mentioned, and I completely agree. If they are the bigger account, so let's say you and I are collaborating on something, right? Let's say your account is 10,000, my account right now sits at about 35,000. We would want that video to come from my account, and then I'm adding you as a collaborator, right? Because you want to get the most kind of benefit from it, let's say. So if you are seeking out these collaborations, um, look to collaborate with people who have larger accounts, or if you want to make it tempting for people and you really think it's going to be beneficial for your audience, you can go to a home inspector or an attorney and say, hey, I have an audience of 5,000, you have an audience of 1,000, why don't we collaborate? I'll post on my account, I'll add you as a collaborator. It's showing up on both. And the thing I love about this is it allows you to tap into each other's audiences. They're parallel, so you're not going to necessarily have competition, but it's going to be relevant to both sides. Okay. So that's a big thing you can add into your strategy for the rest of this year and for 2025. And then lastly, I verified this with her. I was asking specifically about ManyChat because I rely on it heavily. She said ManyChat is a Instagram preferred partner. So no, your post will not get pushed down by using these automations, because Instagram was saying for a while there, don't use content that like ask people to engage or ask them to comment, right? We want this to be a natural thing. So I was like, well, girl, what am I doing with my ManyChat? But I did verify with her that it's fine. ManyChat is a preferred partner. They know the way ManyChat works. So your content will not be pushed down when you tell people comment this to get this. Okay. So if you want to get on, if you want to find out more about ManyChat, of course, go to my show notes. You'll be able to learn more about it there. Okay, so to kind of get an idea of what's working, and if you need some ideas for your own content, go to your professional dashboard, which your account should be set up as a professional account. I prefer a creator account. So go to professional dashboard, then inspiration. Um, she explained you can see what others similar accounts are doing and what's working for them, and then repurpose it for yourself. Okay. So that is going to be really important. It's going to kind of help take you out of that thought mode and where you're not sure what to post about. Okay. So again, when we talk about repurposing, you can go to my show notes and then grab that AI Instant Agent Accelerator course. I'm going to show you all about how to repurpose those things, actually using ChatGPT, and get ideas using the screenshot, running them through ChatGPT, sorry, and applying those ideas to your own business and audience, right? So, I love what ChatGPT does with that. So that's a great tool. All right, and lastly, what she talked about was if you need ideas of kind of what's working with other creators and things that'll work maybe with your account, go to your Instagram page, go to professional dashboard, and then click inspiration. That's going to show you what similar creators are doing that is doing well, right? So that can give you some ideas of how to apply these ideas to your own account, right? The other thing is, if again, my AI for Insta Asian Accelerator course, or I completely jacked up the name, but anyway, you'll see it in the show notes. I'll in there, I show you how to take these ideas from other creators, you upload them to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will then give you content ideas, hooks, the way to frame the video, all based on what has performed well. And they're going to take your audience and voice into mine and give you the way to do it on your account. So really great way to use ChatGPT for that. So if you're interested in that, go down to the show notes, grab that AI Instant Agent Accelerator course. And that's it. So lots of gems that you can use specifically as we start to close out the year and plan for 2025. Lots of great things you can and should be doing. So Instagram is telling us what to do, right? So it's not a matter of not knowing. You know now. Now it's a matter of just executing and getting it done. Okay. So Again, lastly, go to my show notes, go get that ManyChat course, go get the AI Instant Agent Accelerator course. And then there's also some freebies in the show notes. I hope this helps you. Hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Real Estate Coffee Talk. If you enjoyed it, please take a moment to subscribe and leave us a review. It really helps. If you'd like to be featured on the show, you can get that information right in the show notes. Be sure to tune in next week for another new episode. And until then, keep your dreams big and your mugs full. See you next week.